Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the VoiceTech Summit India. It gives us immense pleasure to have you all with us this morning, and it has been an immensely proud experience for us to put together this event and bring this event to you today. It's been a fantastic journey for all of us. We are going to discover the huge potential of voice technology in conversational artificial intelligence. And for this, we have assembled a massive lineup of internationally renowned and acclaimed speakers that will be sharing their knowledge and experience garnered over several years and decades of experience. Ladies and gentlemen, this event has been more than 1 year, almost 1.5 years in the making. Jamal, as the director of Yukon Media, perhaps you could explain to all of our viewers, the delegates, and the audience what inspired you to take up this initiative, and also a little bit about Yukon Media.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the VoiceTech Summit India. This event is something we've been working on for more than 1.5 years, to be precise. VoiceTech Summit India is an event that has never happened in India, and we're very proud to be the organizing company for this.
Now we will move to our first presentation of the day, and it promises to be a blockbuster. We are going to be learning about large-scale automatic speech recognition for multi-device ecosystems. And this presentation is going to be brought to you by our platinum partner, Bixby by Samsung. Very proud to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Vikram Vij, who is the Senior Vice President of Samsung Electronics.
Then the other area is wake up. So when somebody says, hi, Bixby, the system has to wake up. There is also endpoint detection because we have to detect when the user has finished speaking. There's a focus on model compression and also looking at hybrid architecture when we look at combination of on-device and a server ASR all working. So that's another big area for us.
We have a number of questions on the discuss panel. Please feel free to use the platform to interact and network with one another.
Anyway, we're excited about this, and we are, one of the reasons we're here is to try to find partners that can help us work on developing those languages, the dialects of India, and get them into the market.
Comments rolling in from the audience actually kind of.
I think it's going to be very hard to compete with the Googles and the Amazons. The big brands, the Geos and the Tatas, and if I'm Titan Watch and I want to sell a product, I don't want to say hey Alexa to it. I want to say hey Titan.
Say thank you to you guys. What a fascinating panel. What a fascinating beginning of some of these discussions. So thank you very much to Todd, Jeff, Ben, and Ananth. And thank you to everybody else for listening.
Hi, everyone. Greetings from Seattle, Washington in the United States. My name is Joan Perlmutter-Bajorek, and I'm the CEO and founder of Women in Voice, the international nonprofit empowering women and gender diversity in voice tech. And in India, both Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant are growing more and more common. For most people, just speaking into a device is much easier and more comfortable of a user experience. We just turned 2 years old, and we have 15 chapters in 9 countries, and recently launched our Women in Voice India chapter. Woo! Come join us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Slack, Instagram, Facebook, and on our website, womeninvoice.org.
At Reverie Language Technologies, Reverie, of course, is our platinum partner. We also have Mr. Rana Gujral, who is the CEO of Behavioral Signals. Behavioral Signals, of course, is our silver partner.
Thank you all for attending today's session on the evolution of speech recognition in the BFSI sector. So I'm Rahul Nanavati, your moderator for the afternoon and the CEO of Navana Tech. So coming to this very well-balanced panel today, I'd like to start by introducing the technology providers.
So it's a lot more. We can talk for another 2 days. Every sector, every individual customers, we try to build it. But the speech has created a big trust.
Welcome back. As promised, now it is time for the presentation on how to use the power of voice, natural chat, and visualization in a conversational enterprise. Our presenter is Mr. Kaushik Roy, who is the founder and CEO of NCR Techno Solutions, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. If I say, hey Siri, it says, So it's like, okay, I'm listening. So it's like getting more and more human the way we speak instead of just robotically answering questions and just waiting for the something to come.
And I've been in the voice space for a little over a year and a half. And I'm very excited to be joined by two incredible professionals as well as all around good people. And I want to introduce them to you. I have with me Shamala Prayaga. She is the product owner, digital assistant at Ford Motor Company. And she has almost 20 years experience designing for things like mobile, web, desktop, and smart TV interfaces, and over 5 years of designing voice interfaces for connected homes, automotive, and wearables. And I also have with me Mehul Patel. He is the Director of Product Management at SoundHound. Contact any of us either on LinkedIn or during this conference to set up a table. We'd be happy to chat and answer any of your questions. I thank you both, Shamala and Mehul, for being here, for the great work you're doing in the auto and voice industry, and for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, Kerry.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kerry and Shamala. Great conversation.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going on to our next presentation, a short presentation on branding and how to use voice technology to create a strong brand. I'm proud to present to you our speaker, Phoebe O'Hearn, who is a board member of the Woozy agency and also active as the head of design at voicebranding.ai.
The necessity to be adaptable in voice experiences and in voice interactions. Before we dive into these topics, it's really and our ability as humans to speak and communicate with our voice.
How much data and hours is required to create a custom voice for a brand?
Yes, it's a really interesting question, actually.
The presentation on ushering an era of inclusive ICTs with multilingual voice artificial intelligence. We are pleased to present to you our gold partner, Sarthi, the co-founder and COO of Sarthi.ai, Sangram Sabat.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Hello, namaskar, and welcome to everyone at VoiceTech Summit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to hear from Swapnil Jain, who is the CEO of Orai Robotics. Orai is, of course, our silver sponsor. And Swapnil will be speaking to us about leveraging voice and WhatsApp automation with conversational AI for sales amplification and customer engagement. So basically, how can you enhance your sales and customer engagement?
So Orai is the science behind the digital performance and customer experience. Ultimately, we call ourselves as a performance amplifier. And that's a belief which every individual of Orai carries.
So thank you very much, Swapnil. We appreciate you spending time with us. And thank you very much for being a part of the event and your patronage as well.
How AI can understand human language and talk to humans. So today I'm going to demonstrate a piece of it to you. Let's look into it and see how you feel about it.
I am Maya AI assistant here to help you. To begin with, please select the language to continue. I can speak in English, Hindi, Kannada, Telugu and Marathi. For better experience, please speak from a quiet place. Hindi. Namaste, Maya mein aapka swagat hai.
So now we are going to look underneath the headlines and try and understand why is it that some of the biggest technology companies and most savvy investors in the world are so excited about the digital opportunities that are here in India. And we're very pleased to present to you Mr. Brett Kinsella, who is the founder and CEO of VoiceBot.ai.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. I'm really fascinated by what's going on in voice and AI. And what I'll tell you right now is that I've had my eye on India. It was not the first market to sort of explode in the voice AI, the conversational AI interfaces, but it's the one where all of the eyes are really focused on right now. And I think I won't say that all the eyes in the industry or all the eyes who are in the media, but all the eyes of the people who are making investments in voice because they want to grow the footprint. And there's a framework I developed not too long ago which explains why this is. And so when I was talking to Jamal about what you all were going to be doing here, I said, oh, well, this would be the thing that I would want to talk about. And so that's what's at stake. Ultimately, what's at stake is, can they keep their franchise? Can they be the key player in the areas that they built up over the previous tech platform shifts? And can they also establish themselves in some of these new areas that they didn't win at, maybe in the previous tech platforms, but in voice, they have a chance to become dominant in areas that they in these other areas as well. And so that's all I have for you today. And that's why India is now the top priority for Alexa and Google Assistant and will be for at least the next 2 years.
Now time for the presentation on Conversation AI Journey for Enterprise Use Cases. And our presenter is Sarandeep Kaur, who is the Conversation AI Manager and chapter founder for the Women in Voice in India. We spoke up with Sarandeep a few minutes earlier to ask her a little bit about what to expect during this short presentation. And we found out that this presentation is about conversation AI not being just a one-time effort, but an ongoing journey. And it starts right from creating the right vision and strategy and identifying the right use cases to create a great user experience. So how do we go about this entire process is what Sarandeep Kaur is going to answer for us. This and of course much more. Saran, the audience is all tuned in and the stage is yours.
First things first, I am Sarandeep, Conversational AI Manager at Novo Nordisk. Joined Novo Nordisk around 3 months back, but before that, I was in Accenture Management Consulting for 6 years, where I have worked with clients across healthcare, utilities, telecom, on the whole AI strategy in the journey.
And exactly what are the venture capitalists looking for? What are those key points that are so appealing to the VCs when they look at business propositions? I'd like to introduce our panel members. Nihar Ranjan, who is a venture partner with Xfinity Venture Partners. We also have Jay Krishnan, general partner at Mantra Capital. Ashutosh Mayank, the VP of Loomis Partners.
So I am co-founder and CEO at Vernacular, and we are building a voice platform for multilingual users, the next billion people coming online. And we have a multi-layered platform. So what a platform can do is speech to text, text to speech, etc. But the first industry that we are kind of targeting using our platform is call center industry. Call centers are traditionally the most boring and painful part of running any business. High cost centers, high attrition rates, high training costs. For the end users, IVRs are frustrating, wait times are very irritating. So what we're doing is building a suite of products using our voice platform to automate large part of what humans do on call centers today. We are working with some of the largest enterprises in India, some top banks, insurance companies, etc. We started the company around 3 years ago, and we've gone through, in fact, 3 funding cycles. So we raised our first seed round 3 years ago. We raised our second seed round last year. We closed our Series A last quarter. Surprisingly, we have Nihar, who is one of our board members, also on this panel. Right. So that's a quick background. So in total, we've raised more than $5 billion till date.
Area that we look at is specifically in the context of voice is this a new platform that's going to make 3 things amenable, right? One is the discoverability. The second is the market sizable enough that once discoverability is attained, can retention be ensured? And lastly, can engagement be ascertained over a long period of time, till such time that you crack a big chunk of the market? With those 3 components, if you crack all 3, then you're on a good wicket.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoiceTech Summit. After a short networking break, we are now moving on to our next presentation, which is how Unlock 4.0 is shaping the Indian language consumer market. And we have with us Mr. Rajesh Mehta, who is the VP of Enterprise Business of Reverie Language Technologies. Don't forget, Reverie is our platinum partner for this initiative. We appreciate them being with us here, and we look forward to what Mr. Rajesh Mehta has to say. Rajesh, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. And to start with, let me assure you that I do not have any presentation to share. And my personal take is, yes, those challenges exist, but you will have to understand Indian languages first, because the Hindi spoken in Delhi is way different than Hindi spoken in UP, Bihar, Bangalore, Tamil Nadu, for that matter, right? And on top of that, we have different dialects. So you'll have to solve it one by one. And that's what we do at Reverie. We are not building an off-the-shelf product. What we are doing is we are building specifically for industry verticals, right? Which are tuned to that, which understands the vocabulary, which understands the language people use within those industries. And I think that's where we are creating a difference in the market.
Well, thank you very much, Rajesh, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Like I said, Rajesh Mehta, the VP of Enterprise Business of Reverie Language Technologies. Let me remind you that Reverie is our platinum partner for this initiative. And as we said at the start of the summit, it is thanks to the patronage of our partners and sponsors that we bring to you the Voice Technology Summit. Without their support, this event would not be possible. So thank you to all our partners, and a special thanks to Reverie Language Technologies. We truly appreciate it. We have a fireside chat with Micah Groenewegen, sitting all the way in Holland. The fireside chat is about good voice assistants are not only a matter of technology, but good design as well. How do you prevent your voice assistant from sending you into the woods?
Thank you, first of all, for having me here. I guess it's good afternoon for you in India. I'm based in the Netherlands and it's before noon, right? So welcome to this Ask Me Anything, where we'll discuss conversation design. Once your bot goes live, that's only the start of things, because every day you get questions from your users and you have to analyze whether these questions are answered correctly, whether your bot has the answers, whether the matching between the user question and the bot answer is actually correct. And by rerunning conversations again and again, just, talking to each other like we would be a user and a bot, you really find out what the conversational order of your flow can be. What is the most logical way to talk through this problem? We've got a question. User research before delving into the use case analysis. Absolutely.
How voice technology is changing customer experience. We've been talking a lot about how voice technology is going to be an advantage, but exactly how is it going to change the customer experience? From Mr. Kezad Hiramanek, who is the Chief Operation and Customer Experience Officer at Bajaj Alliance Life Insurance. And the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny. And, thank you very much to the VoiceTech Summit for having me. It's a pleasure to join this event and, present to this great audience. And, what I'm going to basically be talking about is more in terms of how customers' preferences have changed, considering this lockdown and the fact that there has been limited human contact in the past 4 or 5 months with, typically customers locked into their homes and with limited mobility, and more importantly, having limited access to other human service reps. So, if I were to look at just the insurance industry, it is a rather human touch heavy industry in terms of the fact that, there are intermediaries. So it is largely an intermediated business. And with the intermediaries in play, they obviously want to have that human connect to, kind of work with customers and their families and talk to them about, the long-term protection and responsibility of the main family member towards his loved ones.
Instead of jumping into designing and developing a voice application, it is crucial to build a strategy, a foundational strategy for your voice application. So we have Seena Khan of the Voice course that will lead a workshop that will leave you confident and certified as well in applying strategic principles to any voice project. Before Seena takes over, I'd like to just mention a few things about Seena. As I just mentioned, he's the co-founder of the voicecourse.co, which is the best-selling online course for conversational AI strategy and design. We are all ears.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the kind introduction. Thank you for hosting me. What a wonderful, wonderful initiative. I've been going through some of the different events different talks that are going on, and it's really, really fantastic to see, the work that you're all doing to make sure conversational AI gets the attention that it deserves.
Seena, thank you very much for spending time with us again. We'll slip into a short networking break now, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
I'd say this experience with VoiceTech was by far the most interesting compared to the rest of the events I've been part of. Like, and I'm speaking of virtual events, right? It's in this post-COVID era. The whole experience was quite fascinating in the sense, like, the system and the platform that you used simulated a real event as best as you can in terms of, still being able to kind of get that vibe and the feel off a summit, but doing it virtually. And so that was quite exciting to see, with the waiting rooms and the backstage and the tables, etc., the lounge. And so from that perspective, I think, we were definitely talking about that afterwards, which is that's an interesting experience. And I thought, the overall it was well done. I think as much as you could do with a virtual setting, because you're still a big part of the summits is personal connection. People go there for talks for sure, but for the most part they go there for networking, and it's really hard to simulate that one-to-one personal experience on a virtual summit. But I think VoiceTech did an amazing job, and there were some interesting opportunities to connect with people. So I'd say probably one of the most interesting ones I've done this year, and quite excited to be a part of it.
We were the gold sponsor for the event, and we've had some tremendous experience across the two-day event. In fact, both our co-founders were speakers at the event. Ganesh being opening the event with a keynote, and Anand being a part of the panel. So VoiceTech being an inaugural didn't look like one. We had great networking and great people who were on board. So we had the best of the best in terms of experts around the globe, a healthy mix of even folks from India, colleagues from the startup world working in conversational AI space, and so on. So we've had great experience working in this inaugural event. And what we would take away is the kind of networking we did at the event and the kind of learnings we had through various sessions and panels. And of course, all the pre and post event branding, promotion across social media, and I'm sure there's a lot more that's coming up. So this is giving us the kind of what I would call a return on investment for the